Use this Picmonic to remember all the important aspects of a low back assessment, with the story of the low back assessed man exposing his back to allow for a proper back inspection, shown here as the eyeglass inspecting. Stand back far enough to get a full view of the patient's back, and imagine a line from the head down the spinous process and to the gluteal cleft. Note the patient's symmetry and ensure both sides of the body are equal and align appropriately. Next, assess for movement, depicted here as the assessed man dancing. Observe the patient's gross motor function, stability, and balance by looking for an expectedly upright posture and steady gait. If possible, inspect this while the patient is unaware to ensure the most natural movements. The patient should be able to walk in a straight line, turn, then return to the point of origin. Next up, we use palpation, indicated here as the paw. Be cautious when palpating around painful areas. Assess the spinous processes by lightly pushing and tapping directly over the spine and observe for pain, instability, deformity, or tenderness. The spinous process is expectedly straight and non-tender. The paravertebral muscles should feel firm with absence of tenderness or spasm, and note reproducible pain or paresthesia induced by palpation, as this can be radiculopathy. Next, we evaluate flexion and extension, depicted here as the flexing and extension cord. Ask the patient to bend forward and touch their toes, and observe for smoothness and symmetry in movement, as well as any pain or limitation. Additionally, a dot can be placed on each spinous process, and when the patient returns to standing, the dots should form a straight vertical line. Rotation, conveyed here as the assessed man rotating, occurs as the patient twists and rotates shoulders from side to side while standing. The lateral bend, shown here as the ladder bending, occurs as the patient bends sideways to one side with feet planted, moving at the waist and repeating on the contralateral side. Hyperextension, the hiker extending, occurs as the patient performs backwards movements by hyperextending the spine while standing with feet planted. The straight leg raise test, seen here as a straight leg raising, occurs as the patient lies down on a flat surface and raises one leg at the hip while leaving the other leg flat. Observe any pain or limitation during this movement bilaterally, as it may confirm the presence of sciatica or a herniated nucleus pulposus. In summary, performing a low back assessment involves inspecting the patient's back and observing for symmetry and alignment. Assess for movement by noting the patient's stability and balance. Palpation involves feeling for tenderness, pain, instability, and deformity. Flexion and extension can be assessed by asking the patient to bend forward and touch their toes, while observing for smoothness and symmetry. Note the patient's ability to twist and rotate shoulders from side to side while standing firmly without pain, limitation, or discomfort. Ask the patient to perform lateral bends to each side, hyperextend the spine, and observe any pain or limitations during these movements. The straight leg raise test is performed by raising the patient's leg at the hip while leaving the other leg flat. This last motion is ideally performed on a flat surface.
Oh, well, hello there. It's me, Assessman. Don't mind my low back being exposed. See, it's been feeling a bit odd back there, so I've elected to inspect it. Gosh, what's this? A bunch of mini-me's dancing around. There's a cat-like mini-me with a paw. Another mini-me is flexing and picking up an extension cord. That must be what's powering the dance floor. There's another mini-me rotating and holding a ladder as it bends. He's keeping it still for the hiker extending with an extension cord. Goodness, what a party!
For the rest of the story, check out Picmonic.com and sign up for a free account. There, you can also take Picmonic's quiz. The quiz automatically sets up your daily quiz by using spaced repetition algorithms based on questions you've missed or struggled with, to make sure you study what you need when you need to. And while you're there, check out the rest of our head-to-toe assessments Picmonics. We've got all the content you'll need to remember. Everything from cognitive abilities assessment, cerebellar assessment, skull, scalp, and hair assessment, head, face, and neck assessment, eye assessment, and so much more, so you can lock down on everything you need to know forever. Play, quiz, and spaced repetition. Efficient, effective, and research proven to increase exam scores.